Hello everybody, it's MAFDOMiNUS, and today I'm going to be making a brand new series called Math's Movie Reviews, where basically I make movie reviews, kind of like the Nostalgia Critic, except I'm 10 times better. So, to start off this brand new series of movie reviews, we're going to start off with one of my favorite childhood movies, Unbreakable, starring Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson. The movie starts off in Philadelphia in 1961. Elijah Price is born with type 1 osteogenesis imperfecta, which basically means that his bones can easily fracture. And I just love how this doctor reacts to the baby.
Did you drop him?
What?
Did you drop this baby?
Jesus Christ, no.
Like, who says that? Imagine if your doctor said, "Ma'am, did you drop your baby?" As revealed later in flashbacks, Elijah grows up to become a comic book art dealer and develops a theory based on the comics he has read during his many hospital stays, that if he represents extreme human fertility, there must be someone unbreakable at the opposite extreme. In the present day, another Philadelphia man, security guard David Dunn, is also searching for a meaning in his life. He had given up a promising football career during his college days to marry Audrey after they were involved in an auto accident. Now, however, their marriage is dissolving to the stress of their young son, Joseph. As he returns home from a job interview in New York City, David's train, the S-Trail 177, crashes, killing the other 131 passengers. He is the only survivor, sustaining no injuries. As the memorial for the crash's victims, he finds a car on his car's windshield, inviting him to Elijah's store, and cue wide shot. Elijah proposes to David that he is the kind of person after whom comic book superheroes are modeled, and repeatedly pursues the issue with David and Audrey, trying to learn whether David had ever been ill or injured during childhood. Although Elijah unsettles him, David begins to test himself. He asks people, has he ever been ill? Now, I'm no expert, but how do you not remember if you've ever been sick? Being sick is a part of life. I'm pretty sure you would remember at least one time you've been sick. While lifting weights with Joseph, he bench presses about 350 pounds, well above what he thought he could do. Joseph begins to idolize his father and believes that he is a superhero, although David still maintains that he is an ordinary man. At one point, he even tries to shoot David. You know, this kind of reminds me of something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck died or something. Anyways, David challenges Elijah with an incident from his childhood when he almost drowned. Elijah suggests that the incident highlights the common comic trope, whereby superheroes often have one weakness. He contends that David's weakness might be water. It is easier for him to drown or choke than regular people. While surveying the store wreckage of the train crash that he survived, David recalls the car accident that ended his athletics career, remembering that he was unharmed and ripped a door off the car in order to save Audrey. David used the accident as an excuse to quit football because Audrey did not like the violence of the sport. Wait, now I'm not a huge sports fan. In my opinion, sports are just not appealing. After all, it's just a bunch of sweaty guys that play with balls. But come on, even I know football isn't that violent. It's better than what I play in my spare time. Under Elijah's influence, David realizes that what he thought was just a natural instinct for picking out dangerous people during security checks is actually a form of extrasensory perception. Now, consciously honing this ability, David discovers that when he comes into contact with other people, he is able to glimpse criminal acts they have committed. As various people bump into him, he senses the crimes they perpetrated, such as theft and rape, and finds one he can act on. A sadistic janitor who invaded a family home, killed the father, and held the wife and their 2 children captive. David follows the janitors into the victim's house, frees the children, and finds their dead mother. But the janitor ambushes and pushes him off the balcony into a swimming pool. David nearly drowns since he cannot swim, but the children rescue him. This scene is just epic. He then attacks the janitor from behind and strangles him until he is dead, while he is once more uninjured. That night, he and Audrey reconcile. The following morning, he secretly shows a newspaper article on an ominous hero act, featuring a sketch of David in the hooded rain poncho he wore while confronting the janitor, to his son, who recognizes the hero as his father. We later see David attend an exhibition at Elijah's comic book art gallery and meets Elijah's mother, who explains the difference between villains who fight heroes with physical strength versus those who use their intelligence. Elijah brings David to the back room of his studio, extends his hand, and asks David to shake it. Upon doing so, David sees visions of Elijah orchestrating several terrorist disasters, including David's recent train accident, causing hundreds of deaths.
What a twist!
David is horrified, but Elijah insists that the deaths were justified as a means to find him. Calling himself Mr. Glass, a nickname his peers had used to taunt him when he was growing up, he explains that his own purpose in life is to be the villain to David's hero. The film ends with David walking away in horror and disgust while Elijah taunts him, and screen captions reveal that David eventually reported Elijah's actions to the police, and that Elijah was convicted of murder and terrorism and committed to an institution for the criminally insane. Wait, how come they didn't show the ending? Why did they have to put captions? It makes no sense. Show, don't tell. So that was Unbreakable. Boo! What? Boo! Boo! Jeremy?
That's right, I'm your arch nemesis.
You're not my arch nemesis, you're just some random creepy fanboy who has some vendetta against me.
Because you insulted Jeffy, and you insulted Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Because Jeffy's a terrible character and The Last Jedi sucked.
Yeah! Stop! Stop! Your opinion hurts me like wildfire!
What are you even doing here? I thought I told you to never come back. I mean, Zilla, did you let him in? No, dude. I am reading Thanos' book. See? Thanos' book, Thanos' book, Thanos' book. Gru, did you let him in?
You're going to suffer the wrath of Gru!
Alien? Okay, you're not invited, Jeremy, so get out of here.
Wait, I came here because... sorry. I came here because I want to challenge you.
You want to challenge me?
Yes, I want to challenge you because you seem to know everything about movies and TV shows, but you like crap like Unbreakable, and you don't like amazing stuff like Star Wars The Last Jedi, or even Jeffy? How dare you, MAFDOMiNUS, for having a different opinion? So, I dare you to talk about Unbreakable in a good way, because there's no way you can talk about Unbreakable in a good way. Unbreakable is a bad movie. It's not the typical superhero movie where it's all explosions and superhero costume. No, it's not. It's a terrible superhero movie because of that. So I doubt you would find anything that's actually good in Unbreakable.
Well, Jeremy, you're actually wrong. You don't need superhero costumes or big explosions just to make a superhero movie good. This movie is actually pretty good. And you know what? This isn't really a challenge. It's actually pretty easy.
Okay then, prove it. How is it easy? Just prove it already. Why is Unbreakable such a good movie?
I will. 'Cause it's easy. You see, Jeremy, Unbreakable is all about finding a purpose in life. Dunn is, to put it simply, bored of his life, and he seeks meaning in his life. Throughout the movie, he denies trying to be a special individual, but he starts getting warming up to the idea after finding, well, meaning, until eventually he becomes a superhero by the end of the movie. He found his purpose, to be a hero. Also, a small detail in the movie, when Dunn first enters the house to rescue the family, his face is visible, but then after he gets shoved into the pool and rises out of the water, his face is never visible again. It's a subliminal detail that tells us David became a superhero. I know there's a bunch of other details in Unbreakable, but this is my personal favorite. I also love the character of Elijah, a broken person, metaphorically and literally, a man who suffers and wants to know why he's here. If he's so broken, what is the point of him existing? It's when he reads comic books where he starts to seek some meaning, and to be frank, he is probably the best interpretation of a fanboy ever because, Well, he takes his fanboyism of comic books way too serious. More serious than Marvel and DC fans, and those guys are mean. And there, he develops the theory that if he represents extreme human fertility, there must be someone unbreakable at the opposite extreme. He finds this person, and the best way to say it...
Now that we know who you are, I know who I am. I'm not a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Point made, Glass. In some ways, we can all relate to Elijah. At some point in our lives, we've been feeling, what is my purpose? Why do I exist? And that's the thing. We don't have a destiny. We choose our own destiny, like how David chose his, and Elijah unfortunately chose his. And I also like how this movie is basically superheroes, but realistic. Superheroes are seen as people who cosplay and fight aliens. It's all cheesy. And well, yes, it can be done right. There's no denying superheroes aren't realistic. But Unbreakable portrays what superheroes could possibly be in our world if they did exist. I mean, David's costume isn't even a costume. It's a raincoat poncho. But it's still his superhero costume. I love how this movie is grounded in reality and takes the superhero concept in a whole new way. Why are people saying Incredibles is the best superhero movie? Clearly this movie is superior. But overall, Unbreakable is a good movie. I gave it 9 broken bones out of 10. Despite its flaws, I highly recommend this movie.
No! Stop using the concept of opinions! You're just a hater! A hater! Phew, he's gone now. Maybe I'll have to file a restraining order on him.
You're going to suffer the wrath of Gru!
Actually, you know what? I think there is gonna be a sequel to Unbreakable. But before we review the sequel to Unbreakable, we must first take a look at the surprise sequel, Split. Well guys, if you enjoyed this brand new series, just comment down below and say you want more. I am MAFDOMiNUS, signing out.